great memories. I'm here today to talk to you about Motown CDs. DAT recordings. What a great invention. Too bad they killed them. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to talk to you about Motown's what they call 2-in-1 classics, or 2 all-time great classic albums, and what they call the COMPAC command performances. They were put out shortly after CDs were released. And the reason why I'm stressing these so much is for 2 reasons. One, when Motown released their stuff to CD, these were the original albums and 45 versions that we heard when they first were released. So in other words, these 2 albums right here, that's on this one compact disc, and the reason why they did that was, like this one is All Directions and Psychedelic Shack of the Temptations. This is the reason why they did that. They did that because back then, albums only lasted 30 minutes tops. So, when CDs first came out, they were about 74 minutes. You have almost like 40 minutes wasted space on there. So, Barry Gordy, or his marketing team, very cleverly said, I know, we'll put 2 on 1. And that way, it'll make it seem like they're getting a bargain. Really, it really is. But more importantly, that's because these were the original releases. Now, I've collected many of Motown's releases since these were first put out. You have some that's been remastered. Remastered just means that they brought them up to standard of 44.1, where it actually balances out and you have a great bass, great mids, and great highs. These were copied, I would say, at a LP's dynamic range. When I would first transcribe these, or put these into from my CD player to my DAT deck, it would only go up as far as 5 or half the amount allotted peak time or peak recording volume. And that's because I truly believe that this was the amount that was placed on the album, so this was the amount that was placed on the deck when they did the transfer. And later on, they quite naturally said, hey, we can improve these, or as technology got better, they improved these. Now, the big reason why I really like these, like I said before, is these were the original releases. I have so many remasters, even the official book releases of the Temptations, which has like 4 CD, the Empress of Soul, the Supremes, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and Marvin Gaye's. And even though they are of utmost beautiful sound quality, in the Supremes book, these are supposed to be the best releases and the best technology of that time when they released these, and they are. But whoever went into the archives and found these releases didn't take the time to say, are these the original releases that we heard? And the reason why I believe that they don't know the difference is because a lot of them weren't even born when when these songs came out. Now, Stop in the Name of Love in the Supremes pink, beautiful, I believe 4-disc release set book is not the original version. It's an alternate version. Anybody that grew up with these songs like I did and heard them for 40-something years, you know them from as soon as you hear the first note. And so is true with a lot of these remastered releases. That's why I really like these. If you really want to know what the original versions sound like, you would have to probably dig these up. Unfortunately, a lot of these aren't around anymore. I was fortunate enough to, when Tower Records was open, to go out and actually pick these up. And I have quite a few. like I said, this is one of the Temptations. This is the Smokey Robinson one with Special Occasion and I need my glasses sometime. Oh, Time Out for Smokey Robinson and the Miracles and Special Occasion. 2-disc set, remember? Wait a minute. Oh, sorry for the disappearing there. I have the Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On and What's Going On. Here's another one by Smokey Robinson, Mickey's Monkey and Away We A Go Go. And I love these because, like I said, for that reason. This is the Marvin Gaye version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine and I Want You. And here's a very rare one. This is when the Ozzy Brothers were actually recorded with Motown. It was This Old Heart of Mine and Soul on the Rocks with the Ozzy Brothers. Both of their original albums that they released with Motown at that time. I have Old Junior Walker with Shotgun and I'm a Road Runner Baby. Okay. Here is a lot of people's favorites, the Jackson 5s. That's the original album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5 and ABC. And then there's Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, You All Need to Get By, and United. These were real hot albums back in the day. When they burst onto the scene, it was like, whew, they just took over. As far as for duets. Here's one. It's the Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell's Greatest Hits, and when he recorded with Diana Ross on her album, 2 for 1. Okay, what do we got here now? We have the Barge, both of their albums, All This Love, and In a Special Way. Right? Okay. Some of my favorites is the Temptations, Meet the Temptations, and Temptations Sing Smokey. A lot of people remember that Smokey Robinson used to write for the Temptations before Barrett Strong and Norman Whitfield took over. Okay. And here is one of my other favorite albums by them. I remember buying this one very clearly. The albums, Runaway Child and Puzzle People. Message from a Black Man just resonated that summer. That song just took over. It was real good. All right. And here we have the Temptations with A Lot of Soul and their live album. Now this live album was it was pretty good. It gave you a chance to hear them, how well and how great their voices really were. In the studio, you can do a lot of things and make people's voices sound better than what it is. But when you do live, you hear them straight from the mic, straight into your ear. And you get a really good chance to see how great the Temptations, their singing really was. They were really great. It's a good album. Okay, and then we have this album. My friend Pudge bought this album. I remember he brought it home. My other friend Mac, we sat in Pudge's room when we played this one. It was Temptations, In a Mellow Mood. That album was just a great album for the times. And I Wish It Would Rain. Yeah, those are some great albums. Okay, now, and we have, of course, Miss Ross, her Diana Ross, Surrender, and her big album, her debut album, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which gave us Reach Out and Touch and Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and it really was like a blockbuster. Okay, and then we had her when she was being written for by Ashford and Simpson, which was The Boss, and that is, Diana. That's when she was doing with, they wrote the song Upside Down, and why can't I remember their names? They had their own singing group, and it was really big. The Chic, the two writers for them, and that was her double album right there. And then we had, when the Temptations had moved on, when Dennis Edwards was singing lead, we had Masterpiece, and we had A Song for You. These were great albums, especially A Song for You. They had a lot of good cuts on it, and it was one of the very first releases where they really, to me, it's like they took the time and picked out the songs that really, really were great for them as they had moved on in their career years, and things that slowed down for a lot of them. These are some of my greatest Supremes albums. It's the Supremes. This is the More Hits by the Supremes, and Supremes saying Holla, Doja, and Holla. Of course, you know they're the writing team that wrote all the Supremes #1 hits and all their just about all their songs for about their 3 or 4 years. And these are two of the albums that contain just about a good body of their work. Great albums. All right. Then we have the Supremes A Go-Go. I remember buying this when I went up to the record store after I saw the TCB television special with the Temptations of Supremes, and I wanted to buy believe it or not, they had the album out at the same time, but they had sold out. The only thing they had up there was Supremes A Go-Go. I remember buying this and going back home. I had borrowed my friend Joey's bicycle to ride up to Germantown Avenue to buy it. But anyway, and then Love Child. That was a song that came out, like I said, when their careers had moved on and things had slowed down. That was a big hit for them. It came out and it really, substantiated them as for that year. And these are, there it is, the TCB album. Now, that's actually a TV show that they put on in the 60s, but they never released they never released it on tape or DVD. You've never seen it about 40-something years now. And that's the Supremes Sing Liverpool. Of course, that means that's when the Beatles was over here and they were very big, and everybody was doing something to emulate or do like a dedication to the British group, because they were phenomenally huge in the 60s. Okay. Whoops. Then we have the Supremes Greatest Hits. Now, this was one album, which I still have over there. I bought that on my 16th birthday. It was really a one album, but it was a double album set. Although they sold, now they sell the CDs as two, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Luckily, this is one of the ones where they put them both together, and you get both of them back in one. Okay. Then we have Diana Ross and the Supremes. This is Cream of the Crop. This is later on when they moved on, and Let the Sun Shine In. And this like later, these albums they sold pretty well. But like I said, this is when their careers was moving on, and Diana Ross was thinking about leaving the Supremes, and nothing was that big. Now, here's the killer albums right here. This is Where'd Our Love Go? This is the one that started it off for them. Where'd Our Love Go and I Hear a Symphony. The I Hear a Symphony album is close to the Temptations' In a Mellow Mood album. It has the same type of flavor, and they were singing more standards to show you. That's when Berry Gordy was trying to move his groups away just from the standard R&B. He wanted to show a wider range of his groups, that they could sing show tunes, melodies, R&B, jazz, and and as you can see with In a Mellow Mood and with I Hear a Symphony, he displayed just that. Yeah. Okay. And then we have the Diana Ross albums when she was on her solo career. This one, Touch Me in the Morning. I was in the service when this one came out, and this thing was huge for her. Had a lot of good songs in it. It showed a lot of her singing abilities as far as her range. Deke Richards wrote a lot of the tunes in here, and it was just a great album. I remember I seen a lot of the cassettes over in the Philippines and in Tokyo and Hong Kong of that album. And Baby It's Me was another big album for her when she was on her solo career. They're really two good albums. You can actually listen to them, and they have not too many fillers, as they used to say. The songs is really very well picked out, and she sang them very well. You can actually listen to them. And here's the albums I really